Katie from Without a Crystal Ball. Welcome to my channel. I'm having one of those days. One of those days where my creative juices are not flowing and I'm like struggling to find the motivation to put out content. And these are the days where this job is not always easy. But I found this story and I was like, you know what? This would be a really great segue into let's follow up about the Ellen DeGeneres story. So we have been covering the story about how BuzzFeed put out a couple articles. One of the articles was related to about 10 people from her work, the Ellen shows, that were calling the workplace toxic. They talked about how there were some racially insensitive comments made by production executives, how production executives were very rude to people, that Ellen wouldn't talk to people. There were allegations about people being fired for taking bereavement or, taking time off, people not feeling as though they were heard. There was just a lot of people feeling like it was this open secret that the set was not this happy, be kind place, which is the mantra that Ellen has put out for so many years. Well, there has been some fallout. Obviously, Warner Media is investigating and looking at the entirety of the show. Ellen has put out a statement basically apologizing and then slamming the producers, saying it was their fault, not hers. Obviously, that was met with backlash, with some of them sort of not being happy with the fact that she blamed production and not herself and did not take accountability for her sort of responsibility as the owner of, or the name of the show, right? And then recently there's been some more people that have come out that have worked there that have also reiterated that this environment isn't as cool as it is. And then there's been some celebrities that have been slightly tone deaf and been defending her by, perhaps as Twitter and social media would insinuate, not taking into account that it's not about them. So here's how it all plays out. Recently, there was a podcast in Brisbane, Australia, and a former camera assistant actually spoke about their experience working on the Ellen show. And the former camera assistant, they wanted to be renamed anonymous, but they were on the radio show called Stab, Abby, and Matt. And this is what they said, that they were told that they could not be in the same room with Ellen. But they weren't sure if that actually came from Ellen or from the production. So they couldn't actually be in the same room as her. They said that was like working at The Devil Wears Prada. So they likened her to The Devil Wears Prada, which is basically a film that's from 2006, based on a novel where it's about a college graduate who works for a domineering fashion magazine, Meryl Streep, in New York City. And they said it was like The Devil Wears Prada suggests that it's a tense environment with nervous staff walking on eggshells around a demanding boss, which is a lot of what the people at BuzzFeed said. But this is what the cameraman said. I worked there for a little over a year. It was kind of like The Devil Wears Prada. Everyone is trying to make it to the end of the year. It was just a badge of honor to have that and have it on your resume. They also said that their interactions with Ellen, they said, I wasn't even allowed to be in the same room as her. Most people were told that when Ellen enters the room, you and your entire crew need to leave. Sometimes her bodyguards come forward first and you kind of see them and you know to leave, and that's it. And that's weird, right? So your own staff is not allowed to be in the same room as you if you enter the room. What does that say about your complex of being above people? That's kind of interesting. Now, Portia de Rossi says that Ellen's going to keep going on with the show and that they are going to hang tight and that she and, them all appreciate the support. They're going to power through this, right? But, it's going to be tough because I feel like the way that this is being positioned by the wider media is that, in order to come back from this, you are going to have to really sort of address this, not just from an investigation standpoint, but really from a holistic standpoint of who is Ellen as a person, and why is it that she feels like she's so above people that she can't even be in the same room as them and she doesn't want them looking at her or talking to her, right? Well, celebrities love Ellen, right? And so some celebrities have been defending her. And Katy Perry actually recently spoke out on Twitter, and her tweets, which were actually about a week ago, this is what she said. I know that I can't speak for anyone else's experience besides my own, but I want to acknowledge that I have only ever had positive takeaways from my time with Ellen and on the Ellen show. I think we all have witnessed the light and the continual fight for equality that she has brought to the world through her platform for decades. Sending you love and a hug, friend Ellen. So Katy, who is an A-list celebrity, by the way, she is a multi-platinum recording artist. She is a songwriter. She is pregnant. She's about to be a mom. She's engaged to Orlando Bloom. This is someone who has a lot of money, a lot of prestige, and is on the same level as Ellen. So Ellen's positive experience with another powerful celebrity, I don't think should be shocking. Jay Leno actually said the same thing. Like, I'm not going to throw away my 40-year friendship with her because of some of the things that are happening at her workplace. So if you are of an elite status, this tells me that Ellen will be nice to you. At least that's the impression I get. And that's also the impression that people got on Twitter. So people on Twitter were like, please remember that a person's character is revealed far more than how they treat their inferiors, than how they treat their equals or superiors. So if she is not treating the people that work for her well, but treats Katy well, that doesn't say a lot about her, because she might see Katy as a colleague or as a peer. And she's not better than Katy. Katy has 100 million people following her on Twitter, right? Of course, it benefits Ellen to be nice to her. Camera people or production assistants know no one, so there's no benefit for Ellen to be nice to them. Another person says, you're a good friend, but it's not about you and any of Ellen's close celebrity friends. The moment it is about her employees finding their voices and power after feeling abused for many years. Another person said, Katy, no. Listen to Taylor when they said that just because you have been treated nicely, they aren't necessarily a nice person. And I think maybe she was nice to you because you're a celebrity, something to consider. And it was like more of these, like, Katy, not you. The issue here is how she enabled a toxic environment, not how she treated her celebrity guests. We should probably be listening to the stories of everyone who has worked there instead of speaking over them with privileged experience. So she was not well received. Now, Katy actually was interviewed by Los Angeles Times, and she actually defended her choice to actually defend Ellen. She said, I started the tweet off by not undermining anyone else's experience. I wanted to only speak from my own experience. I have over 100 million people who follow me on Twitter, so not everyone is going to agree with me, and I'm not here to make everyone agree with me. And she said, clearly some did it. That will now change, and I'm committed to ensuring this does not happen again. And that's it. Like, she says that she doesn't really speak for anyone else, and she's gonna be more communicative about that, and that's it. So she has A-listers, Jay Leno and Katy Perry and other people, her wife Portia, and all these other like high-powered celebrities that are speaking out and supporting her. But it's the people that are working for her that are saying it's not that awesome. So she's going to come forward. She's going to continue on with the show, according to Portia. But how does she really come back from this? Do you think that... See, I was never a viewer of the show because I actually find her kind of rude to guests. And I also think that she's kind of fake. Like, I don't know. I just feel like she gets off on humiliating people. And I don't really love that. So, I mean, I guess it's her sense of humor. But that's the part of her I've never really, like, loved. So I never really watched the show. But if you were a viewer of the show, like, how do you feel like does this change your mind? I mean, do you think that you could enjoy it knowing what you know now, or does it not matter to you? Like, you don't care? Who cares? Like, it's still the Ellen show. I don't want to know about the private details. I would love to know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Bye, guys.